Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know if you can hear my voice and see my screen. Please give me a yes or a yes. Yeah, just say a yes in the chat box so I know you can hear and see me. Chris says yes. Chris of the good first name. Lots of good stuff lined up for you this evening. We will get started in just a few minutes. There's still people rolling in. I don't know that they're actually rolling. That would be uncomfortable and seems unlikely, but you know. One of the ways I keep my staff motivated is we have a Slack channel that's just random shit. And this part of my language, hopefully that didn't just cost us like 10 people. And I will like put dad jokes in there like a couple times a day just to make everybody upset. Jim's probably rolling his eyes right now if he can hear this. But that's one of the ways I keep things entertaining. Jim says, yep. All right, like I say, we will get started in just a few minutes. If you want to talk about anything and not related to SEO or anything like that right now, this would be the time to do it. Maybe you want to talk about baseball and how frustrating that's been this season, this postseason.
How do you figure? It's been
Because
great. I'm a lifelong Cardinals fan.
No, you're just a horrible person, Jeff. That's why. I don't just judge your taste, I judge you because of that.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Full
At
Boost Media.
least you're not a Cubs fan.
Full Boost Media says hi. Chris says go Cubs. Right after you say that, because of course. Going to talk about some really cool stuff tonight. For those of you that aren't members, we do this every other Thursday. We do one in the afternoon and then one in the evening to try to accommodate as many time zones as possible. What we usually do is like a lesson on whatever happens to be, I don't know, whatever we happen to think of that week, and then we'll do Q&A. The way it's going to work tonight is Jeff's going to show you something, and then Scott's going to talk to you about something, and then I'm going to talk to you about something, and then we'll take some questions. Full Boost Media says, did I have to download GoToWebinar to join this, or can I view this on my browser? I don't know that they have a browser option yet. But I mean, you're on right now, so you should be good. So whatever you're doing, just keep doing it.
You might have had it downloaded already, just didn't realize it.
Yeah. All right, let's see, it is 7:04. We'll give it one more minute to get some more people on. No matter how long I wait, most people don't show up until we start 10 minutes in, so
yep.
It is what it is. God, I hate that expression. All righty. Yep, more people coming in by the minute. Full Boost Media says, hey, Jeff, got a question for you. Fire away, Full Boost Media. Do you see his question there, Jeff?
Yeah, hit me in a PM afterwards. I'll kind of go into detail what happened.
All right.
Come inbox.
All right, let's go ahead and get this show on the road. I will send it over to Jeff, and then I already recapped what we're going to do, so there's no need for me to say it all again. All right, making you the presenter.
Okay.
And there you go.
All right, so I'm assuming you guys can see my screen. Yes, no, maybe? Wondering for yes?
Yes, we
awesome.
can.
All right, so this isn't really a hack or anything like that. It's just kind of some of the things that I find just going from here to there. And what this one is I actually happen to find a wiki that allows you to sign up for any site you want. And it has really good metrics to it. The DA on it, I want to say is in the 70s. I know the DR is like 71 or 72 if you're concerned about Ahrefs metrics or anything like that. So as you can see, it's got some pretty good stuff to it there. With that being said, let's open up the right one here. There we go. So the site is called webwiki.com. And when you go to the site, it's going to pop up with, let me get this out of the way. It's going to pop up with this. For some reason, my computer always says translate on this site. I have no clue why. Everything is in English So who knows? But you just go and you click on the upper right-hand side, add website. And then it's going to ask you to fill out this information. So when you're filling out the information, I've already got a little cheat sheet on this here. Your very first one is just going to be your domain name, no HTTP, HTTPS, anything like that. Your second one is going to be your actual. Nope, it's already added in there for me. Awesome. And then you're going to go to your category. For this one, it's going to be healthcare. The title. I like to use the company name on this. And the main reason for that is just because I need a better branding for this company itself. As my caps is all nice and pretty on that. And then you're going to actually add a brief description. Doesn't really matter what you add. You kind of want to have your keywords in there. As you can see, you only get 255 characters on it, so you can't go real detailed with it. This one's just a little quick about what we do. And then it's going to ask you to confirm some information. And this is going to be your email. They don't send you any email. It's just more of a verification that you actually are who you are. Your operator is going to be your name. Now your address. And then zip code, city, and phone number. You don't have to enter in a fax unless you want to. And you also don't have to enter in your information for a website if it's different from the one above. In this case, it is not. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go click certify, and you're gonna hit add your website. Now, it is added and it does take a while to pull in all the information. But you can see right out the gate that the site is live, it's linked, it's got everything you want to on it. So very next thing I do is I grab this, I'm gonna hit Control C, and from here I'm gonna go to ping, and that's before I screw something up here. I'm gonna go to Ping-O-Matic. If I can spell right. And from there I'm gonna enter in my blog name, CNC Imaging. Blog homepage is going to be the actual web wiki. And the reason I'm pinging this is because I want Google to come and crawl this. I don't really care so much if it gets indexed as long as it gets crawled. So, and the difference between that is Google finds it quality enough to actually be indexed, whereas being crawled means the search engines have been to this link, give me the credit for the link. So from there, I'm just going to hit send pings, and that's it. So hopefully that is a little bit easier for you guys to understand. And as I said, it's a really good link to get for your website. Once again, it is webwiki.com. So that's about all I got.
So I know a few questions that people probably have. Do you know if it's no follow, do follow?
It is a do follow link.
Okay.
So that's a big bonus. You can actually even increase the quality of the link by adding backlinks to it. So your actual individual trust flow and everything else will actually climb up.
All right. And like, how do you use it? Is it like, where do you use it in your campaign?
In my campaign, I actually do a lot of wiki sites. So I just add this to my wiki. And the reason I do wiki sites is because for whatever reason right now, Google really loves wiki sites. They index typically within a matter of a day or two, just by a simple ping out to the search engines on that.
Okay. And you add like the image and all that other stuff that it lets you add? Do you fill it out completely?
It actually pulls it in.
Oh, see.
It actually goes to your site and crawls it. See, there we go.
All right, cool.
So yeah, it pulls everything in for you. Even if you go down below, you can see it's pulled in my about, my flat panels page, my news page. It's pulled in all the information. So there's not a whole lot to actually do with it once you fill in your basic information.
And if you wanted to do something clever, like make your business name a keyword, you could probably get away with that too, right?
Yes, exactly.
And you sure it's a do follow link?
It was a do follow the other day, unless they've changed it. I can pull up a tool and check real quick.
Yeah, let's take a look at that just to be sure that we're.
Give me a second. I got to actually add it.
Either way, it's like, there's no need to put a frowny face about it. It's still a good link one way or the other. So.
Oh yeah, it's a great link to have. You also have to take into consideration that just because it is a new no follow, or because it's saying it's a no follow. Um, Google is now using that strictly as a reference. It doesn't mean that they're actually going to listen to that at all.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep in mind.
Plus, like it has your brand name in the URL and in probably in the title. I can't really tell. Yeah, in the title. So it's great for
Right.
that too, for passing relevance. So
Yeah, it's also a good way to help you with your branding of your site.
yeah.
And I'm gonna have to reboot my browser on that. So
All right. Well, we can figure that out later. So all right, that's kind of that. I think that was a really cool link. I think it's something that we
oh
should
nope.
add to what? Okay. I think it's something that we should probably add to any new campaign you start. So if you thought that was interesting, if you're gonna start using those, give him a 2 in the chat box to
A two.
show me that everybody appreciated that, and then I will toss it over to the next one. All right, lots of twos rolling in. Too good, Jeff? Is that?
Yep. No, we're good.
All
We're good.
right.
I'll go through and pull this through with SEO Quake and find out for sure.
All right. So I am going to send it over to Scott now, if you're ready.
Yep.
I am.
I was actually asking Scott, but I'm glad that you answered for him.
You don't know me like that.
All right. Sending it over to you.
Okay,
And
can you see
yeah.
my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, what I wanted to talk about is we have been fielding a lot of questions about links and where to send the links, and this is a little bit of kind of foundational basic SEO 101, but I'm going to show you some real world examples and give you a little bit of the thought process and the tactical side of what's going on behind the scenes of how they're getting this result, and a little bit of the why you're getting these type of results. One more kind of tactical discussion about this. I think a lot of times if you're newer to SEO, the natural inclination is to send all of your links to the home page. And what we teach in the academy is that your main website page needs to be more about your brand and not quite so much about your services, because what you end up doing is if you get multiple services, they will end up start fighting for each other, and you're only going to end up ranking your client for one or two keywords if you have all of your keywords on your homepage, and then you're sending all of your links just to the homepage. So I wanted to show you as an example. I've got the search term Kansas City sink repair. This is a kind of a drill down service, like toilet install, leak repair. So I just chose sink repair, and it brought up some good examples of what I'm talking about. I'm going to skip Home Advisor. Okay, this is the local results. If you look at the pathing, they all have the ones that are ranking well. I pretty much ignore, and if a Yelp result shows up here, I ignore this as well. But what I would consider a good and successful SEO effort is something like what they're getting here, where they're not ranking for lbaservices.com. They're ranking for a very specific, for this, the search term is sink repair, and they're ranking for sink repair. And if we go over and look at it, they've got, this page is optimized. I'm not a big fan of putting geo modifiers in URLs. Some people like to do it. I personally don't. And I do a little bit of a site structure difference here, but what they're doing is when they're building links and when they're building not a lot of foundational links, like you could have little clusters of 2 or 3 web 2.0 type things if you're on a budget to send to a page like this, because they're trying to rank for sink repair. This page is optimized for sink repair. Another one, they've got enough in here that, there we go, sink. Their titles are all around sink repair. They're spelled out right there, sync repair. And you'll notice again, they're not ranking just the naked raw URL. They're ranking deep into the website. And what you want to think about when you're just by the way things shake out, and if you start to naturally acquire links, those links are typically going to go to your homepage. And as an SEO, you're trying to manipulate and get as many results from your client to show up in the results. So one of the ways that you do that is if you had a cluster of supporting, if they're guest posts, PBNs, Web 2.0s, a combination of any of those that you like to use, using an anchor text like sync repair in as your link back to this, and you're linking to this URL. I'm gonna, just to make sure this is completely clear here. Okay, so this is the main, let me make the font bigger for the old people. That was the Jeff joke. Come on, Chris.
Jeff, yeah, I was on mute. I already said Jeff like 3 times. In case anybody's wondering, Jeff is in fact really old. I'll send it back over to Scott now.
This is the company's main website, and this is the sync repair site that they ended up ranking. And if you notice, this is what's showing up in the search result. And it's also really good from a user experience because they're talking about syncs. I don't have to comb through the home page and say, okay, where's the sink, where's the bathroom, now I need sinks. This search result shows up, you click, you get everything you need here. So when you're building links, instead of building to that and just hammering that home page URL all the time, you're going to want to build your links to it's oftentimes called a deep link. Build this with so if you're trying to rank for sync repair, your anchor text is going to be sync repair. So your anchor text here is linking a deep link into your site there, and that will help get these type of results. And I had a couple other, there's actually, for some reason, 301 back to the main page. So I don't know if they had pulled it off or just a hiccup, but they're doing the same approach where they've got a sync specific. I like, this is my personal style of the way that I do things, that they've got a / plumbing services, and then they've got link underneath it, they've got sinks, bathtub, toilet repair, etc. This page is very obviously optimized. I'm gonna take a guess that's an H1. Let's have a look, see here. Yeah, their H1 tag is sink repair and installation. Gardner is a suburb in Kansas City. All of these, they're getting a lot of geo stuff put in here. Not a really expansive page by any stretch, but they've got it optimized enough to get this sync repair to show up. And this is the technique behind how they're doing that. So hope that helps with kind of a 50,000 foot overview on link diversity and why you don't want to just continually hammer your homepage with links.
So you're saying that it's just to kind of like sum that up, is there are times when you want to send those kinds of links to an inner page as well.
Yeah, what we typically do is, like, we've got an auto detail shop that they're ranking pretty well for a lot of branded things, and they've just added vinyl wrap, the vinyl wraps that they put on cars. They've just added that to their service, and they're not ranking very well because there's not a page built specifically for it. So the way we're going to get that some more visibility is underneath the services section, add in a vinyl wrap, put in probably 500 to 1,000 words of content, do some interlinking, and then send some PBN links to that vinyl linking page. And because the overall site and the domain authority is already pretty good, that page is built correctly, and you send a couple links to it, it'll start to show up if somebody searches for vinyl car wraps in the area instead of on the off chance it's a little more predictable too, that you can, if your customer or client says, hey, I want to rank for Invisalign, you can go in and optimize, and then as time passes, you can show them, here's your Invisalign results, and you've got a very specific way to do that.
Great. Eddie asks, is it possible to outrank Yelp, HomeAdvisor, Capterra, etc.?
It is, and what I've noticed a lot of times, that particularly on the back end of an algorithm update, the Yelp and the YPs and those type of things tend to, just because they're such a monster site, that Google throws them in there as a default, and over time you can overtake them. Because I personally, I can't stand Yelp, and if it's a result, I won't click on it at all. And hopefully through click-through rates, your site will, because they don't want to see the 10 best plumbers. They're looking for, I need a plumber now. And if you look like a real business and you're branded like a real business, they're going to say, okay, I'm going to click on these guys. They're looking for something like this, where they've got a phone number to call. This is an actual business here in Kansas City, and not just a big long list of, here's the 10 best plumbers that Yelp's pushing up. I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, I think so. It looks like they got rid of that stupid messenger thing they had on it before, the last time you brought the site up too. So that's nice.
Yeah, it does.
Because that was
whoever the SEO company is that's doing the work for these guys is really talented and does a good job. I've always been impressed with the footprint they're able to get.
All right. Any more questions on that? Fire away. We'll knock them down. I don't want to move on to other things until we make sure that you got everything you can get out of that. If you could sum that up, you would basically say that just don't fire all your links at the homepage.
Yeah, the combination of, if you have your silos and your inner pages built out correctly, if you build links to those inner pages and they're interlinked correctly, you're going to get a lot of that. One PBN link will actually help all of your other pages. And typically your homepage has enough links with, just your foundational stuff. And over the course of time, if you naturally acquire a link, 9.5 times out of 10, that's going to be to your homepage. So just diversifying your footprint and kind of crafting the predictable results is what this does.
All right. Eddie asks, how much do you usually charge for SEO for a site like this?
How long is a piece of string? That was a little bit in jest. It's hard to give a live quote, just because what we typically do is look at some of it. If you've got a plumber in Enid, Oklahoma, that's going to be an entirely different situation than inner city New York. And you've got to look at how bad is their website right now. It's a lot of competitive analysis. And then the way that we price some things is you have to ask some questions of the owner and figure out what's the lifetime value of a customer to them. So if an average plumbing job is, $500, and on the low end, they may have some $60 maintenance calls, but on the high end, they may have a $4,000 full scale water heater repair. They're more than likely not going to pay, unless you've got a corporate situation. They're more than likely not going to be able to shoulder the $4,000 a month, but you also don't want to charge them $500 a month. So you have to come up with a point that you're showing the business owner, by virtue of good SEO and higher visibility, if I bring you just one or two more clients a month at $500 a month, you're $1,000 ahead, and you can start to dial in what your pricing looks like from there.
Right. Joe says, I understand locations or service areas for a plumber, still struggling with service area pages for, I assume that means digital marketing agency with one location. Not sure what the struggle would be. you would have like, it would just be yoursite.com/SEO/web design/whatever, right? Is that how you do it, Scott?
I think he was asking for if you're trying to get all the, go back over the map here. I think he's talking about are you trying to get, if you're based in Platte Woods, how do you get Hampton, all of these other suburbs? And I would just build an areas we serve page and then build out a city page for like Platte. Let's say you're based in Gladstone, you're trying to rank in Platte Woods and get some visibility. Build out a areas we serve and then have some Platte Woods specific content so that if somebody in Platte Woods finds your search result, it's customized to that suburb, and it's kind of its own little mini landing page in a way. I think that either one or both of us answered that.
Let's see. With the plumber, they go to the locations, but market agency works from one spot, trying to get more visibility. Well, for organic ranking, it doesn't matter. For maps, what's your answer to that, Scott?
With maps anymore, I don't think particularly given how harsh Google has been on the lead gen type fake listings. I'd be really careful unless you have a verified, GMB. And if you do get a verified GMB where you don't have a location, I would be very protective of that and don't do anything. A lot of time there for a while, the trick was to have your brand name, so Scott's Plumbing Company, and then some sort of separator, Kansas City Plumbing, and that type of thing. I in the maps anymore, as the geolocation gets smarter, I think that's a lot harder to manipulate than it used to be.
All right. Let's see. Eddie says, I'm working with a client and I was able to change their name to Dr. Los Angeles successfully. It's been like that for a few days now. Is it risky? Should I change it? It is risky, but I would not change it.
Yeah. Anymore, if you can get away with a change to GMB, leave it.
Yeah.
No touchy.
Yeah, they're getting suspended for some of the dumbest things right now.
Yeah, we have one guy in Academy who he put in the correct address of his client or whatever it is, and Google just changed it. And it's reverses the words or something silly like that.
Yeah, it's changing the address around.
All right, guys. If you got any more questions, hammer away. No, don't feel bad. We tend to have one person that answers all the questions.
Yeah.
Or asks all the questions. So don't feel bad at all. But yeah, guys,
and it'll vary from webinar to webinar on who's doing what.
Yeah. I know I said I was going to say some stuff after that, but I think we'll go ahead and take some questions on this or on anything else, and then we'll get into that. So if you have any questions about anything in SEO, internet marketing, how old Jeff is, anything like that, just let us know. This is the time. This is what we do every 2 weeks to make sure that everybody's getting everything they need and getting any obstacles they have removed or any help that they need, anything like that. So fire away and let us know you're alive out there, because it's really weird when you're talking and nobody's interacting. So I start babbling. Bruno says, I'm finishing my website. Where should I start? I'm thinking foundation. Jeff, that sounds like a good question for you.
I always start with foundation, just because I want to work on my branding first. Essentially what I want to have happen is I want my company name to rank #1. That shows me I have good branding out there. And then from there, it makes it easier when I'm going through and adding in guest posts and things like this, to not worry about my anchor ratio so much and end up with a penalty or something along those lines. A. B, it allows me to become the authority on the subject at hand within my area. So that's where I start mine at.
All right. What do you do first, Scott?
I do a pretty similar approach.
But I mean, do you do anything on this? This is for both of you. Do you do anything on the site first? Do you look at the technical stuff.
I do all of the on page, all of the technical stuff first, and a little trick that I have tested over the years is when you have to set yourself a reminder, because if you forget to uncheck this, if you're using WordPress, it's maddening to be like, why won't this index? But I typically, and we ran a head-to-head comparison, 2 different websites, exact same content, exact same template, and one of them we had it specifically checked to not be indexed, built it out, and the other one we had it open and registered with Webmaster Tools, and the one that was not allowed to index until the site was done ranked significantly higher by almost like a full page. So what I do is I set it to no index. I go through and make sure all my on-page interlinking, all of the site structure is on point. And then when I'm happy with that, then I will go and register with the Webmaster Tools. And then I go in and do what Jeff does with the foundational, social, all of that stuff. And then the next phase, if it's an existing website, you obviously can't do that. But I think in your case, you said it's a new website. So that would be the cadence that I would follow.
Cadence. Look at you with the college words. Let's see. Jim says, unsilence the fourth amigo. I can't. I don't know why. I right click on you and it won't let me make you an organizer. I think it's prejudice against you. Jim says 4 is the loneliest number. I'm willing to accept your wisdom on that. Bruno says you can make a foundation for a Portuguese website. Yeah, all the principles still work the same. Eddie says, I did a backlink check on the site CCX-Ray and some other websites to see a ton of links from such and such a site. I go to the root domain and as a page to sign up for a blog, but it doesn't actually work. It's super clever. Where do you get those links from?
Yeah, that's actually in the Academy. There's a whole section on that in there.
It's Blogstival.
Blogstival, yeah, it's just a Web 2.0 is all it is. But yeah, it's actually in the list. I've got a whole entire list inside the Academy of all kinds of different Web 2.0s and stuff like that, and that's actually on there.
Okay. I actually haven't.
It's just how that one works.
Okay. So it's one of those ones where it's like really tricky to sign up for.
Yeah.
All right. Jim says fortitude of silence. Jim's actually really funny. I don't know if anybody knew that. Sunny says how to get site ranking maps for different variations of the keyword. Ergo, city dentist versus dentist in city rank differently for a site that I support. So how do you handle that, Jeff? How do you manage?
I do my GMBs probably different than a lot of people. I wrote a post a while ago in the free group just as this is a question we get a lot. So what I will do is I'll actually go through and I'll write, let's say the place where you're putting a citation at allows 1,000 words. I'll go through and get as close to that 1,000 words as I possibly can. Excuse me. And then I'll go through and I'll put in different keyword variations as far as, if you need a dentist in blah, 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 then our dentist can help you with this and this and this and this, and just kind of add them in where it looks natural. But that will actually help you rank in maps for different variations of spellings and things like that. So a lot of it will come down to your company description.
All right. One more second here. Let's see. Also, this is Eddie. You see that question, Jeff?
It's already been done in a private.
All right. Jim said, why did the number 4 not get into the nightclub? Because he is too square.
Oh, that's bad.
You don't get to criticize my dad jokes anymore. Ken says, had a very small e-com site sitting for months and foundation links done a long time ago. Can I do another round, like to start it up again?
You can, or you can just go back into the foundation links that are already existing, see which ones are still alive, and actually add to those.
And he says, awesome, thanks. Can you send a link to the Academy? Why, yes, I can. I just dropped it in the chat. It is superstarseo.com/academy. We're going to talk about that here in just a second, but I wanted to make sure everybody got a little bit of value before they had to dip out. I can't believe I just said value. Dana says, with new website build-outs, does it hurt SEO if all blog content is added at once, or should we slowly trickle it out like a blog every week? My opinion on that is the whole point of a blog is to have is for when you want to add something new. So I think you should do like once a week or twice a week or whatever you can consistently do. What do you guys think?
I think when you're first starting out, like on your first initial build, if you want to go through and put in 5 or 6 blog posts and have them publish at the same time your site publishes, I think that's okay. And then if you've got maybe 15 or 20 of them, just kind of trip them out, set it to a publish date of a week in the future or 2 weeks in the future or something like that.
But you don't just plop them all out at once.
I don't plop them all out at once. No. If it's a brand new site that hasn't been crawled yet, I'll pop out 5 or 6. The rest of them I'll just kind of let drip out so I can get that in, so I can get that bot coming back constantly.
Makes sense. Jim says, why don't you do arithmetic in the jungle? Because if you add 4 + 4, you get 8. Oh dear. Jim's been so critical of my dad jokes too. Bruno says, another question, the content, how can I find the best question to ask to rank? For example, I use SEMrush to make the content, but I don't know what questions with more traffic. So I think what he's asking is, what's a good source to find questions that you can turn into content?
Answerthepublic.com.
I'm a fan of keywordtool.io myself, but continue. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
That is one that puts things into a natural speak, and this will not only help you with finding things to write about for voice, but what people are actually asking.
Well, and it puts out a pretty interesting cluster graph that shows related, or I suppose you could call them semantic terms, but
yep.
It gives you groups of, and where that's valuable is if you get one, if you write your content the right way and include a couple of those spires that are attached to it, you can get one keyword, one page that's ranking for one keyword, or start to pull in some extra ones that are kind of bonus points.
All right. Bruno says he just wants to thank you all. We want to thank you for taking some time to hang out with us, Bruno. You're always contributing in the group, so I'm glad you got to come by tonight. Amber says Jim is a funny guy too. So I'm not even the funny one anymore? Come on.
She's such a traitor, you know that?
Right? No loyalty. Dana says, okay, good to know. Thanks, guys. Jim says, I'm trying to assimilate to your unfunny culture so you'll let me in. This hurts me more than it hurts you. Bruno says, thank you so much. Sunny says, okay, this one's kind of long. Do citations from the same website, ergo different blogs on the same site, help with ranking, or subsequent links from the same site does not help? So I think what you're asking is if you get a link from somebody's blog and then later you get another link, it probably won't help that much for SEO, but if it's interesting and drives traffic, it's still good.
Right. One of the things that we do differently as well, if you're talking about like maps on your own site, is we don't put the map in our footer like what a lot of people do. We've actually found that actually harms you a little bit. And that's why we all teach the location page.
Yeah. You can thank Scott for that one, guys. That's the kind of stuff that we come up with here. Chris says, when building links to a newer site, how valuable are niche edits compared to a full article guest post? So it doesn't matter if it's a newer site or not. The difference between the two of those is, and I'll give you the ups and downs of both. The ups to a niche edit is that if it's done well, it's already indexed. It means that you can kind of you can find something that's already relevant and maybe already has a few links and a little bit of authority going to it. It's not going to be super strong. The downside is that you don't get to optimize it the way you want. And 7 out of 10 times it's done without the site owner's permission. So that's just however you feel about that. The upside to a guest post is that you get to write a nice, long, well-optimized post that will, in theory at least, appear on the homepage for a little while. and you'll get the power of the homepage for at least a while. The downside is it's a brand new page, so it has no page authority, and it's going to be harder to index. So that's the pro and con of each. So it doesn't so much matter if the site is new or not.
On the other thing with niche edits is, for whatever reason, that those type of websites seem to change ownership hands pretty frequently. So that's something you have to, I feel like there's a little bit of a babysitting component to make sure that your site didn't all of a sudden turn into something about auto racing and you're trying to push blog posts about dentists.
Eddie says, I've been sending tons of cold emails per day, changing up the copy for each one. The main message is pretty much, hi, I saw your website when I searched for keyword plus city. It's not on the first page. I created a website audit for you so you can outrank your competitors XYZ. Did you want me to send it over? Any help? So I guess what you're telling me is that you're either not getting any response or you're getting told to go F yourself, most likely, because those are the two negative responses you get to a cold email. I'm not, and I say this to be helpful, I'm not too fond of what you've written there. I think that it goes right for the kill too much and it tells them what's wrong. I would start with, it's kind of hard to break down my cold email strategy in basically though, you don't want to talk too much about yourself, which you did good, but you want to personalize it a little bit with their name if you can get it. You want to be a little bit more positive and say, I have some information I can send over. I wouldn't go right for it seems like you're just going right for the sale. So I can give you a little bit more on that at another time, but that's kind of my thoughts on that, is you're going right for this is what's wrong, and this is what I already did to show you how it can be better. You want to build a little bit of rapport before you get to that. So it's almost like you skipped a step. So.
Yeah, and to add on to that, I have a site that ranks #1 for like over 40 terms, and I still get that exact same email from people. So a lot of people are going to look at that and say, oh, it's just normal spam.
All right. Jason says, tell us more about this Superstar Academy you speak of. Well, I don't mind if I do. I'm going to go ahead and take the screen back. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
All right, so Jeff, Scott, and I, and Jim, who is unable to talk for some reason, but he's very funny, are the coaches in what we like to call Superstar SEO Academy. Now, what this is in my opinion, the most complete SEO training ever created to get beginner and advanced SEOs dramatic results. For beginners, we show you step-by-step how to get everything set up. You'll see how to get your first site set up and start ranking in the first 30 days, depending on how much work you put in and how much time. For advanced SEOs, we have advanced techniques and strategies that rank even the most difficult terms and how to get clients and things like that. So it's not just baby steps, but it's also not just for advanced people. So we try to cover everything. And one of our things is that we found that an underserved niche in SEO is business owners who just want to do their own site and not become an SEO themselves. We have a lot of students that have had a lot of success doing that. And so we went ahead and put together an entire module just for business owners too. So that's kind of how that works. It's the most complete arsenal of coaching, software, and training ever assembled for SEO. And I know that sounds like a lot of marketer hype, but I'm very proud of what we've built here. So I feel 100% committed when I say that. So basically, it's SEO basics and 4 areas of study plus some other odds and ends. The first section is mindset, getting started, SEO 101. Then we have a module for SEO for agency owners, meaning if you take clients and you do work with businesses and things like that to do their SEO for them. We have modules for affiliate marketers. So if you want to build websites and sell other people's products and services and get a commission for them, we show you how to do that. We do, like I said, we do SEO for business owners, which is someone who owns their own business and wants to get it more visible on Google. I really felt like that was an underserved niche, and it's something that I've worked hard to accommodate. And then we have SEO for e-commerce store owners. So if you have a Shopify or a WooCommerce store selling, cat socks or whatever it is that you sell, water purifiers, we show you how to get SEO traffic to that. That doesn't get taught a lot, in my opinion. So just to break it down a little bit, SEO for business owners is optimizing your website and your content, your site speed, how to rank in Google Maps, the off-page SEO, which is what a lot of people get confused on, you know, the linking, the different types of links, how to use them, when to use them, and so on, how to use a blog. SEO for agency owners is how to get your agency started quickly, meaning that you have nothing right now and how next week you can have a full-fledged business. I actually started one recently for somebody else, so that's how easy it is. Creating your brand, getting yourself set up as a brand and not just some dude sitting at home with a website, dude or dudette. Let me use PC here. How to get started getting clients, because that's really what this is all about, right? It's great to be able to rank sites, but if you're not able to get clients for them, it doesn't do you any good. And then getting clients at scale, meaning once you get a lot, you know. SEO for agency owners, A to Z SEO ranking for Google Maps, local SEO clients, you know, basically Kansas City plumber, like Scott was showing. That would be an example of a local SEO client. Statewide SEO. So if you want to rank for a statewide term, like, I don't know, South Carolina SEO or something like that, that would be a great one. And then national is when you take on a giant corporate brand like McDonald's or something like that. We even show you how to go about ranking for that, although I don't know that you would want to take on McDonald's. And then there's advanced SEO training in as well. So proper PBN setup and usage. We actually did a full webinar on that like 2-3 weeks ago, something like that. Yep. Advanced link building, penalty removal, and literally dozens of modules. In fact, we have so many videos that I had to rearrange the order of them inside the website because Kajabi broke and like you couldn't navigate through them because it couldn't handle how big the amount of training we offered was. For affiliate marketers, we actually had to find winning niches. And when I say niche, I don't just mean like tech. I mean like very specific niches within industries, how to pick the best offers in those. So you're going to get offers that are going to show you, that are going to get you paid because they're not only going to pay well, but they're going to convert. In-depth keyword research. I do my affiliate keyword research differently than anybody else I know. And I take a lot of pride and a lot of time into that. How to write content that converts. I think this gets overlooked in a lot of affiliates courses and sites, is that they show you how to get the SEO, rank the site and get traffic there. They never show you how to make it convert. So that's important. Structuring your site for conversions, kind of the same thing. And then there's an Amazon affiliate store profit section as well. And we have some case studies in affiliate marketing that we're still filling out. For e-commerce, we're going to show you how to choose the right platform and theme, because Shopify is not right for everybody. WooCommerce isn't right for everybody. We're going to customize your site for rankings and sales. So how to structure it in order to set up the right categories, the right products, and all that stuff to get people to it. Show you the right apps to use if you're using Shopify and things like that. And guys, we'll get to the rest of your questions, by the way. So just hang in there with me. Choose the winning products, blogging, and offsite SEO. Again, this is something that doesn't get taught nearly enough. Almost every e-commerce training is about paid traffic, and I think we do cover some of that too, but this is kind of the main thing we do is SEO. So there's case studies. There's a local business case study that I literally show you me buying the domain all the way up to having been ranked #1 for months and months and months now. There's digital marketing case studies, affiliate case studies. I think Jeff has a mass page site one, and yep. There's 2 that I'm working on right now. So a lot of over the shoulder, watch us do it type of thing. There's advanced SEO. We talk about Google Analytics, advanced link building strategies. We're going to put out, I think we got a couple modules on parasite SEO, technical SEO, and we literally add more and more all the time to the point where I can't even keep up with it. Like Jeff will tell me, hey, I uploaded another video, and it'll be like a week before I remember to put it in the members area because we have so much of it going on. So like I said, we literally broke the software that we built the site with. So additionally, you get bi-weekly Q&A webinars like this where we'll cover a topic, we'll take questions on the topic, and then we'll take questions on everything else. We have a private Facebook group with access to Jim, Jeff. Jim will actually be able to speak in there. We'll have me, Scott, and well, I'm Chris. We'll have Jeff, Scott, and Chris. Reading names is not as easy as it looks. I've done probably 75 site reviews. I don't do them anymore because, well, it was turning into too much of a thing, but there's probably 75 reviews of me reviewing a site in there. You get a huge discount on our private DFY link building service, which is actually kind of a full white label SEO service that we offer. I actually started offering it at a non-discounted price on Legiit recently, but we offer it to you at a deep discount so you can kind of like take some of that burden off you. You get 3 months access to Audit, which is my on-page competition analysis software. And then obviously you get updates for as long as you are enrolled. this is the Facebook group, and there's literally a question in there that I blocked out because, this is private for members, but I think we're more responsive than any other group that I've been in, and I have been in everybody's course. So basically, to sum it all up, you get the complete training, the DFY discount, the audit discount, the full mastermind and coaching. There's some bonus courses I'm going to throw in, like my freelancing course and my video course and my Facebook group course, and all of that comes to about $8,706. That's kind of the real world value. I mean, everything is real world value, but that's kind of what it comes to. Like I said, I don't know why that slide's in there again, but basically, this is what it comes to: $67 a month. That's the price of one good dinner at Olive Garden, a tour of Italy for 2 people and like some salad, and it's covered that. So I don't know. I've dropped the link in the chat for you if you want to check it out. We'd love to have you on board. It's the 2019 price, not the 2018 price. So forgive me for not updating that, but I don't know. I think that's just I think it's a great offer. I know I'm not objective. So here's some of the other successes we've had. We got Cody, who signed a big dental practice with a big budget. We got James, who signed a 10K per month client. We got Ian, who's been a huge success story for us. He was a local business owner, and he did SEO in the off season because his business was seasonal. And he got to the point where he's doing SEO as his main business now. And you can see he got 3 clients in one day. You got Kirill. Lauren, I don't have the video. I couldn't find the video of him telling us how great it's been for him, but Lauren is another small business owner. I think I just pronounced his name wrong. So if he's hearing this, he's probably laughing, but he's another small business owner who was able to rank his own site, and he's in an extremely competitive niche. So, and then we got Amber, who's on right now. I'll leave you to read that story yourself because I want to finish talking. And I won't be able to if I read this, so there you go.
Same thing on that one.
Yeah. And, I could go on and on, but the bottom line is we have tons of success stories. It's not just me telling you how great it is. So if you're not one of our current members, we'd love to have you on board. And that's pretty much that spiel over. I know you came for the content and not the sales pitch, but I wanted to make sure that we offered this to you because I think the value is fantastic, and I'm really proud of what we've created here. And gentlemen, or Jeff or Scott, would you like to add to that? And then we'll get to some more questions.
No, I think the biggest thing is I know a lot of people will probably see me in the public group. I don't really answer a whole lot in the public group anymore ever since we started the academy, and that's actually where I've migrated to. So I get a lot of questions on that as far as where I went. Well, this is where I'm at now.
Great.
Well, you've got a wealth of experience with the 4 of us, and we all have the skill sets overlap, but each one of us has essentially kind of our specialty. And as an example, one of the things Jim and I have started doing is grabbing 3 or 4 sites and helping people. This isn't SEO, but as a business owner, it's something that is actually important, is working on doing site reviews to help optimize click-through rates. And a little background on me, I was at Sprint for about 13 years doing multimedia design, usability testing, and that type of stuff. So you're, in addition to the SEO stuff, you've got 4. We are more than just coaches. All 4 of us have agencies. All 4 of us are active in what we're teaching you. We are using on our own sites and our client sites.
Yeah. All right. Jim would add things if I could get him to talk, but I don't know why it won't let me.
Well, and Jim, since he's not able to talk about himself, Jim is one of the most talented back-end technical. If you have a WordPress breaking issue, Jim is very good at solving those type of problems, and he's a welcome addition to have that at your, instead of having to get on the phone a lot of times or try and Google what the answer is. Chances are Jim has seen it and can help you with it.
Yeah.
And he is also the lead developer for Legiit, by the way. So there's that. Rod says, do you guys have a list of the Web 2.0s that index quicker, or is it just a random process or based on a whole different type of factors?
So it used to be you could throw up a Web 2.0 and have it boom index right away. Now, because everybody and their brother is going through and creating Web 2.0s and abandoning them, they've kind of actually they've kind of actually stopped indexing them right away. Now the search engines will still come, crawl it, and give you credit for the link. But due to so many Web 2.0s getting abandoned, they're not indexing them. And I've noticed that it takes anywhere between 4 to 5 posts to actually get them to index and start to rank in the SERPs.
Okay. Eddie says, thank you guys. Thank you, Eddie. Rod says it says Rod. Bruno says we should make a webinar with Portuguese people selling tickets or something. If you want to take the lead on that, I'll do my best to help out in whatever way you can. I don't know that many, but.
And I don't speak Portuguese, so.
Well, neither do I, but I can improvise.
And my Spanish will get us all in trouble, so.
Joe says, Superstar SEO is amazing, like a nice MLT, mutton, lettuce, and tomato, when the mutton is nice and lean and the lettuce is nice and crisp. Thank you.
I guess. I don't eat mutton.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that was meant as a compliment, so thank you. Eddie says, who are the programmers behind Legiit? Coming from a software engineer, I'd love to help the site out. Jim is the head developer. He owns the agency that is responsible for developing and supporting it. So that's Jim Sabelico. Amber says, these guys have changed my life. I'm always spreading the word of the Academy because it works and it is easy to follow. Heart you guys, they are so normal too. So earlier we were funny, but now we're just normal.
Yeah.
No, that's very nice, Amber. Thank you very much. That means a lot. I appreciate that. Bruno says, I'm in high school. I don't have time for now to learn. Wow, I didn't know that you were that young. That's impressive. I don't have time for now to learn. I want to now, but my goal is paying someone and put my money on top of that. But Portugal is a poor country and I don't know who to trust. I'm not sure the question there. Are you asking who to trust to help with your SEO, or I don't know, what do you get from that?
I'm not sure what to take away from that one.
Yeah.
Especially if you read the one down below.
He says he's 39. Oh, well, you're still like half Jeff's age, so don't worry about it. Eddie says, thank you for making an actual live webinar, not a recorded one. I don't know why that bothers people so much, but you're welcome.
Yeah, we always do ours live.
No, that's not true. I have
we have some that are on replay, but I mean,
yeah.
Stuff like this is always live.
This is the Jeff bot.
Yeah.
Jim says, laugh out loud. I'm funny. You're normal. Amber 2020. Hashtag Amber 2020, because Jim's a millennial, so he uses hashtags. I don't have anything against millennials, but Jim doesn't like being called one, so that's why I said that. Bruno says, I want price and quality so I can sell that. I'm sorry, Bruno says that.
I'm
right,
still lost.
I think I can probably give. I think what you're asking is you want to know how to price and sell SEO. Is that right? I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at something in the chat. Eddie, so yeah, if you can just clear that up for me, Bruno. And I haven't forgotten about what you asked me the other day either, so I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Eddie says, haha, Jim gave me the finger.
That's what we were all laughing about.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are caught up on questions. Does anybody have any questions about the Academy offer or any SEO questions or anything else I can help you with, or Jeff can help you with, or Jim can help you with, or Scott can help you with? It can be about SEO, marketing, Academy, what I had for breakfast, whatever you want to talk about. We are here for you. And Scott's dog is even here for you, in case you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a Boston Terrier, or what kind of dog do you have?
No, that's the Jack Russell.
So you have multiple dogs.
I have a Husky, I have a Boston Terrier, and the Jack Russell.
All right. I'm more of a cat guy myself.
Well, the Boston has lymphoma. He's kind of at the end of life type of stuff right now. So.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that a while back, that he wasn't doing well. I didn't want to ask, so I guess it's still going on.
Yeah, it's
Rod
just
sa-
a,
I'm sorry.
go ahead, I'm sorry.
Rod says, yeah, I'll list this on a replay later. I missed the first part today, the backlink with the high trust flow. Yeah, no, I'm probably going to stick this on YouTube so I can claim to have put up a video this week. So yeah. Bruno says, last one, take 30 minutes to make a citation. How do you sell like X citations for $50, for example? Only thing I can think of is that people that sell them have a team that's really proficient at it, because I hate doing that shit too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that is the worst part about SEO is doing citations.
Yeah.
I will say, I think it's a good idea though, as if you're brand new to the space, I think you should do 1 or 2, maybe even 10 manually, just to see the level of effort that goes into doing that and just how monotonous it is. So you understand when you're like, this is absolutely worth $50 or whatever somebody charges you for it, because there are about 9,000 other things I would rather do than fill those out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do agree with that. It's good to know how to, is it inspect what you expect? Whatever that expression is, that always made a lot of sense to me. I got that one from Stephen Floyd, who I'm sure got it from somewhere else. But it makes perfect sense too when somebody delivers something. If you've done it yourself before, you know how to look at it and see if they did a good job. So
Yep.
There's a cliche about that. I can't remember exactly how it goes. Now let's see. Bruno says, okay, thanks for the advice. I'll do that. Amber says, did Scott find a belly band for his old dog?
I did.
All right. It's been great. Basically dog diapers. So as you can see, we also offer a pet consultation service here at Superstar SEO Academy.
Yeah, there's really no limits.
No.
We're pushing the limit of that whole normal description though.
Yeah, right. And just so you know, there will not be tacos. I was lying about that. And having posted that earlier this week has made me want tacos all week long. So I'm going to stop doing the food ones, or at least start picking food that I don't like. All right, we've been here a little over an hour. If anybody has anything else, now is the time. Jason says, by the way, congratulations, Jason, on the thing you told me the other night. Any guidance on selling SEO? I have a team to fulfill good cold outreach advice approaches. Doesn't have to be automated or mass. So the thing is that SEO can be kind of a shitty offer if you don't convey it properly, because ultimately, if you're going to be truth without like explaining it in any effective way, you're just going to say, I'll rank you in Google and it might get you some sales in 6 months. Obviously, you don't want that. What you want to do is talk to your client, your prospect, I should say, and get to know them. So, hey, Bob, it's Jason calling from such and such a SEO agency. Let me ask you, how's stuff going with your website? Oh, it's going fine. Great. And great. How's business going? Good. I could always use some more. Oh, really? Why could you use some more? Oh, well, we've been down the last 2 months and I'd like to get that up to, such and such a number. Really? Why? Well, because then we could buy another truck and we could add another person to our team. Really? And how would that help? Well, then we could expand out into this other area and then we would have more revenue, and then I could take, I could help pay for my daughter's college tuition next week. Well, let me ask you something, Bob. And if I could get you, ranked #1 for this term, and it brought in this many more sales for you so you could get Emily's college tuition paid for, is that something you'd like me to sit down and have a conversation with? Something like that. That was a hell of a routine I just went through there, I think.
Yes, it was.
So my point with that story is you want to get to know, you want to dig deep on the questions and figure out what they need and get them thinking about that and figure out what pain they have. And then you have the pill to take the pain away. And that's the SEO that you offer. So hopefully that helped.
And typically a good place to find them is people that are sitting on page 2, because they're trying, they just can't get over that hump.
And or people that are spending money on AdWords is another one.
Yeah.
One of my consulting clients has had good luck with looking at Yelp ads and calling them. So that's another thing. Let's see. Eddie says one of my clients is moving their business to another address/city in January 2020. Sorry to hear that. That's always a pain in the butt.
Yes.
The address is still unknown. Should I build citations to the current address or new one NAP? I would wait until you know the new address and then just update the existing citations to go to that, and then make any new ones that you still need as well.
See, and I think I'd probably do it differently.
Really?
Yeah, and the only reason on this is because he's saying he's moving to a different city. So I think I would build out his current one, and then when he moves to the new city, I'd actually start a second location. And as long as the other city's close enough, he should be able to pull in a few leads from both locations.
And those wouldn't be duplicates?
Not if it's in another city.
Interesting. All right. See, I learned something today too.
Accidental multi-location.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, now that you say it, it makes perfect sense, but that's, yeah. Eddie says, I already read that. Dana says, are there any applications that show if certain keywords are ranking in the 3-pack? There's a couple, but I haven't found any that are very reliable. I think Bright Local is probably the closest you're gonna get.
Yeah, I don't know of any that are actually really reliable.
No, because like it's so different. Like I can literally go to my office and my home are like 5 minutes apart, and I get different results when I search Google Maps from each one.
Yeah.
So it's just insane.
Yeah, since
So,
they started pulling off of your IP location, it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
Well, and I've had a client where when he's got boots on the ground searching, he's freaking out in a good way. And when I search for it here in Kansas City, it's invisible, and he's like, "Oh, you're killing it in the map," and I'm like, "Good," because it doesn't look like it from my end.
Continue thinking that.
Perfect.
Well, and then some of them change throughout the day. Like there's certain industries where if the business is closed, it doesn't get shown. So
Yep.
It's a pain in the butt is what we're saying. Jason says, love that. Thank you. Makes sense. Awesome. Awesome. Jason says, that's great. Eddie says, thanks for the input, guys. Dana says, I see. And she says, it really is. It really is. If they killed Google Maps tomorrow, it would not hurt my feelings.
No.
So, alrighty, still moving right along. Any other questions? No?
Silence.
All right. Yep, I think we've kind of overwhelmed anybody. Again, that link, superstarseo.com/academy. One question I always get that I never think to address is how long do you have to sign up for? You can sign up for as many or as few months as you want. If you sign up for one and you say, you know what, this just really isn't for me, I don't have the time, whatever, you cancel and you're done. You can come back I mean, I can't say we'll have this price forever, but you can come back whenever you want, but I don't know, check it out. Like it's literally one night out. It's worth it if you get one thing out of it. Just check it out. The amount of training we have in it, I think, is insane. I could seriously just charge this for the Facebook group, and I think people would be getting it. So
scoop it up. I know a lot of people that pay that.
Yeah, scoop it
just
up
for the group.
See if it's for you. Go for it. So I think that's probably a good place to wrap it up because I think
there's what 200 videos in the academy, if not more.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Chris says, thanks guys, got to go. I'm going to sign up tonight to find some gems
Awesome.
in your members area. Awesome. Glad to have you on board. The Chris Nation is strong. Joe says, thanks guys. All right, I think that's probably a good place to jump off because my voice is shot and I still have a live stream to do tomorrow. But if you want to check that out, by the way, join us in the free Superstar SEO group. I'll have my friend Nico Marino on, so that should be fun. All right, Scott, Jeff, Jim, do you have anything to say? No? Good. Scott, any final words?
Mine is just thank you for taking the time. I know it means a lot for you guys to be here. If you do have any questions, throw them out in the group. This is typically for the Academy members, but if you have questions, throw them out in the free SEO group. I'll monitor that a little bit more than I normally would for the next few days, just kind of help out and go from there.
Scott?
I don't really have anything else to add.
Scott, man of few words. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for taking the time to hang out with us tonight. For those of you that are already in the Academy, we'll have this up in the members area later, well, probably tomorrow because I want to go home. But, and then I think I'm probably going to throw this up on YouTube as well. So that'll be there for everybody who wants to check it out. That link again, one more time, superstarseo.com/academy. If you have any questions, you can ask them in the paid group if you're in that, or in the free group if you're in there. And most of all, I want to encourage you to figure out what you want in life and go out and get it, because you owe it to yourself and you owe it to the rest of the world to be everything that you can be. So thanks for taking the time to hang out with us. We'll see you again soon.